66?
Well, I'm representing the Texas Route 66 Association and the City of Amarillo. My attractions to Route 66 are actually multi-dimensional, but mostly because I have a fascination with nostalgia, and I think a lot of other people have similar yearnings when they travel Route 66. There are basically two aspects to nostalgia. One is a Welsh word, hiraeth, which means a yearning to go back to a time and place in which you previously existed, like your childhood, a yearning to return to your childhood home, for example. The other type of nostalgia is far more abstract. It's called anemoia, and that is a yearning to go back to a place and time in which you never existed. And that is the primary motivator for me on Route 66. I have been driven by the fact that my father drove Route 66 in 1955, 4 years before I was born. I wasn't even a twinkle in his eye at that time. But when I travel Route 66, I try to put myself back in 1955, and I listen for my father coming down the road. That is why I do Route 66.
It's a lonely road and a busy street. It's a hustle and a bustle and a quiet breeze. It's the Pasadena traffic in Missouri Sticks, that old 66.
Your name and where you're from?
I'm Sylvie Toulek, Toullec. I come from France in Brittany.
Tell me, how many times have you traveled the route?
On the road, I went 4 times, but only one, the full from the beginning to the end directly.
Why Route 66?
Because I love Route 66. This is a real passion for me. I discovered this passion maybe it was when I before I meet Angel Delgadillo, the barber of Seligman. I used to say, this guy give me the love of the Route 66, and I decided to go to meet him. And the more I go on the Route 66, and more I fall in love.
Meeting new people, yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
It's the Arizona desert and Chicago wind. It's a midnight diner up around the bend. It's a stalled out engine and a tire to fix, that old 66.
Your name and where you're from?
My name is Dries Bessels and I am from Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
You run an organization for Route 66?
I'm the chairman of the Dutch Route 66 Association, and I'm a travel guide for the motorcycle trips along Route 66.
How many times have you done Route 66?
This year will be my 10th time that I do it entirely in one go.
And when you come over, how long do you usually stay?
Normally the tours I guide are 2 weeks, but this year we'll do a 3.5 week tour because we go back to the Best of the West Festival.
How much does it cost you to come over?
For the normal people who participate in the tour, depending on the kind of bike, they spend something like $7,000-8,000. The airfare and the hotels and the ticket and the meals and the souvenirs, and some of them go wild on souvenirs. I've seen people who had to buy 2 extra suitcases to bring all the souvenirs back.
What can we do as Americans to help you find information about the route?
I think what would help a lot of people who really benefit would be clear signage. Americans are very open, very friendly, very interested, so be yourself, I'd say. And it would be good if there would be some sort of local association endorsed GPS files or something. And I know a lot of people asking for that.
Okay, oh great idea.
Yeah. And another thing what you might want to consider, in Arizona they've got the Arizona Route 66 passport. Every state should have one.
And the rhythm of the asphalt goes on and on and on, like the pounding of a heart beating free and strong. It's a concrete jungle in an old mud hole. It's a rat race running and a Sunday stroll. It's a knee-high cola and an old cane pole, that old 66.
So I'm Ellen Klinkel, this is my husband Udo Klinkel, and welcome to Ofterdingen, where we're at the first European Route 66 festival. Very excited.
And what is your interest in Route 66?
Well, we got into 66 via photography interest, and actually a few years ago, the government shut down and wanting to visit more the parks, the Red Rocks in the west, and we were looking for an alternative. So we wound up going on 66 and fell in love with it.
You currently are working on
Yes.
producing a book, correct?
Actually 3. We have 3 book projects in mind. A photographic one, and one is dealing with deep 66 places, unknown places. And the third one should be about people on Route 66.
How many times have you come to the United States to drive Route 66?
To drive around 66, I think 4 times.
For us, it's all about the people and the stories.
What can we do in the United States to help assist you find Route 66?
Signs are important for the normal traveler who does not have that deep insight. So he needs to have signs. In many states, there's a good signage. In others, it could be better. You can find your way if you have a good guide, like, for example, Jerry's guide.
Very good.
Yeah, the Easy Guide is
Easy
very
Guide
good.
is good.
Illinois, I think, all these states has a really good signage. That was very good.
Yeah.
But in little parts, we were a little confused.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we
Okay,
thank you,
thank
and
you.
we're so
I hope
looking
to see you
forward
there.
to our next trip next year. Definitely coming to Illinois, coming to Joliet to join you.
Thank you.
It's a rusty Ford tractor in a new suitcase. It's a Cadillac Ranch and a smiling face. It's a one-speed bike and an old shoelace. That old 66.
We're from the Netherlands. I'm Willem Boor.
Monique Boor.
We like to drive the Route 66. We did it from 2005 the first time. Like to meet people, like to see the old buildings, the old alignments.
We love to speak to people and hear their stories about the route.
So
You
we
say route?
like the old gas station, the ghost towns, the old diners, the old motels.
Tell me a little bit. So you also have created a business out of your.
No, it's not a business. It's just a hobby. And a hobby is creating the models, and that's Route 66 art. I create the models, she creates jewelry from the Cadillac range.
What do you think, as Americans, what we can do better to help you when you come over?
I think you do a lot with the markers to easy find the road. And I like the Arizona passport.
Oh, yeah.
People like that a lot.
Well, you love her like a lady who sometimes treats you good, and you wouldn't want to live without her even if you could.
Your name and where you're from.
My name is Jerry Linda Mettele. I am from Waldkraiburg.
What draws you to Route 66?
Route 66 is a passion. The first time I really got in personal contact with this road, I fell in love with
When
her.
you come, how long do you stay?
Usually 1 up to 2 weeks.
What do you think we can do as Americans to help bring more people over or make it easier for you on your trip?
I think such a guide from the beginning to the end, so everyone can pick out what they really want to see the first time. That would be great.
Maybe like a GPS?
That is great.
It's a honeysuckle blossom in the morning dew. It's a silver-lined moon looking back at you. It's a drop-top Chevy in an old horseshoe. That old 66. It's a clicking and a clacking in the smoke of the train. It's a coyote prowling out across the plain. It's a rattlesnake river in a driving rain. That old 66.
Name and where you're from?
I'm Sven Fransen and I'm from Belgium.
Our attraction to Route 66?
66 is an icon, a legend, stands for freedom, stuff like that.
I attended the 2015 Miles of Possibility conference in Edwardsville, Illinois. Can you tell me, I know you were a speaker there, how many times have you been asked to come to the United States to be a guest speaker?
That was actually the first time in relation to Route
What is your specialty? Is it history or is it economic development?
My specialty, I think, is promoting Route 66 and explaining Route 66 to people who don't know much about it. People like you see here in Germany who, we know Route 66, we know that feeling, we have that urge to drive it, but essentially we know nothing about the real road. Is it there? Is it not there? Is it a legend? Telling that story to people allows you to see that they can live their dream and not just have a dream. If I tell them I went and drove Route 66, I get, oh, you can drive it? Oh, or on a Harley, even though they know I'm not a biker at all. So that the dream is there.
She's a stranger to the future, a promise of the past, the main street of the world that's moving fast.
So your name and where you're from?
So my name is Wolfgang Wirtz from Germany.
And do you run an organization related to Route 66?
Yes, we founded in 2011 the German Route 66 Association.
How many times have you traveled over to the United States to specifically drive Route 66?
I've driven now 6 times the whole route, 10 times parts of the route in the west.
What do you think as Americans we could do better to help you find direction on the route?
The first time I was in 2009, the signs were not good to find a direction.
And when you come over, how many days do you usually stay?
Usually between 12 and 20 days.
Tell me a little bit about the festival. Now that it's over, was it successful to you,
Yes,
did you think?
I think it was very successful. We had a lot of people here. It was combined with a motorcycle run.
So the conference part of the festival, do you think that was well received, that you brought together some people from Route 66?
Yes, I think it was the first time we had the people all around on one round table.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, we thank you for that, and hopefully we can move forward in unity for Route 66 and our European travels.
Fine, you're welcome.
Thank you. Jim Hinckley of Kingman, Arizona writes, Route 66 may not be our most scenic highway or the most historic. However, it has always had the best press and publicity. As a result, a highway that officially no longer exists has been transformed into an American icon, a special place where the American dream is made manifest. It has become a living, breathing time capsule from the era of I like Ike buttons and tail fins, an almost magical place where the very best of the American experience has been distilled and refined. It is America's longest attraction and a destination for legions of travelers from throughout the world. As a result, the Route 66 Renaissance represents an unprecedented opportunity for economic development, for neighborhood revitalization, and for the development of a sense of community, as well as community purpose in cities, towns, and villages all along the Route 66 corridor. The recent Route 66 festival in Germany was more than a quintessential celebration of the Double Six, its culture, and the American experience. It was an historic milestone. In the spring of 1927, Cyrus Avery and a band of visionaries established the U.S. Highway 66 Association that branded US 66 as the Main Street of America. The need for a similar organization, a sort of chamber of commerce for the Route 66 community, is as great today as it was 9 decades ago. At the festival in Germany, enthusiasts and representatives from several European Route 66 associations came together to establish the framework for an international advisory group that can work hand in glove with the Route 66, the Road Ahead Initiative, a modern incarnation of Avery's pioneering organization. This is the 90th anniversary of the most famous highway in America. After attending the recent festival in Germany and experiencing the friendship, the sense of adventure, and the spirit of passionate enthusiasm of European fans of the Double Six, I'm quite confident that this storied old highway will remain relevant and vibrant into its centennial and beyond.
Freedom and its prison and its billboard signs. It's a Mustang keeping it between the lines. It's the tumbleweed, the cactus, and the lonesome pines. That old 66. That old 66. That old 66.